The Felicians lived peacefully for thousands of years. They built beautiful crystal cities among glowing forests on their planet Felix Prime. They loved art, learning, and science. They never knew war. One day, giant bug-like aliens called Vraxons came to their world. These aliens had many warships and weapons. The Felicians had no armies or ways to defend themselves. The Vraxon leader sent a message: "Give up in one day, or we will destroy you all." The Felicians were scared. Their oldest and wisest leader, Ambassador Jin, called an emergency meeting. "We have no weapons to fight them," Jin said, looking at the worried faces around the table. "Can we hide?" asked one council member. "Can we give them what they want?" asked another. Jin shook his head. "The Vraxons want our world and our people as slaves. There is only one hope." Jin walked to the communication center, a tall crystal tower in the middle of their main city. At the top, he stood before the great broadcasting device. He took a deep breath and spoke into it. "This is Ambassador Jin of Felix Prime. We are peaceful. We face extinction. Please help us." The message shot out into space in all directions. Jin watched the stars through the crystal dome above. Would anyone hear them? Would anyone care? Far away, near the edge of the galaxy, floated a small blue planet called Earth. Humans had only been traveling in space for 50 years. They were still new among the stars, but already other aliens knew about them. Some aliens thought humans were kind and friendly. Others thought they were fierce and scary. The truth was, humans could be both. On the Earth ship Intrepid, Captain Subin was checking the ship's systems when a young officer ran up to her. "Captain, we've picked up a strange message," the officer said, handing her a tablet. Subin listened to the message twice. Her face grew serious. "Send this to Earth Command right away." Within hours, leaders from all Earth nations met to discuss the message. They looked at maps of the galaxy and information about the Vraxons. "The Vraxons attack peaceful planets," said General Kim. "They take resources and make the people work as slaves. The Felicians have no chance against them," added Dr. Han, who studied alien cultures. "Their whole society is built on harmony. They don't even understand what fighting is." Subin stepped forward. "We can reach them in 10 hours if we push our engines to maximum." The Vraxons gave them 1 day before attacking. The room grew quiet. Earth had its own problems. Many people still went hungry. Some countries still fought with each other. Why risk Earth ships and people for aliens they had never met? President Joe looked at the faces around her. Then she remembered Earth's own long history of wars and suffering. How often had the strong preyed on the weak? Finally, she nodded. "Captain Subin, prepare your fleet. We will answer this call for help." Subin bowed. "Yes, Madam President." As Subin left the meeting, her friend Dr. Han caught up with her. "You know the Vraxons have more ships than us," he said quietly. Subin smiled. "Yes, but they don't know what humans are capable of when protecting others." On Felix Prime, Jin sat with the council watching the Vraxon ships on their screens. Giant black ships shaped like insects hovered above their world. Only 6 hours remained before the deadline. "Our message has traveled too far," said one council member sadly. "No one will come." Just then, a young Felician burst into the room. "Ambassador, new ships are appearing at the edge of our system." The council gathered around the screen. Several sleek silver ships had appeared. They were smaller than the Vraxon ships, but moved quickly and with purpose. "Another enemy," someone whispered. Jin watched as the new ships positioned themselves between Felix Prime and the Vraxon fleet. A message came through their communication system. A human woman with short black hair appeared on their screen. "I am Captain Subin of Earth Defense Force. We received your distress call and have come to help. The Vraxons will not harm you today." Jin felt something new. Hope. "You came for us. Complete strangers." Subin nodded. "On Earth, we believe that the strong should protect the weak, not prey on them." As they spoke, The Vraxan commander sent a message to both planets. His insect face filled the screen, mandibles clicking angrily. Humans, this is not your business. Leave now or be destroyed with them. Su Bin's face remained calm. The Felixians are under Earth's protection now. Leave this system, or we will make you leave. Jin watched in wonder. The humans were so small compared to the Vraxans, their ships fewer in number, yet they showed no fear. As the deadline approached, Jin prepared his people for whatever would come. Some hid in underground shelters. Others watched the sky, praying that these strange humans could somehow save them. Jin stayed in the communication tower, watching as the first Vraxan ships began to move toward Earth's defensive line. He thought about the humans, traveling across space to help people they had never met, risking their lives for strangers. Whether they won or lost today, Jin knew the universe had shown them something important. Even in a vast, cold galaxy, compassion could still travel faster than light. Captain Hannah stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Intrepid, watching the stars through the main view screen. The ship was running quiet drills near the outer human colonies. These were peaceful times, but Earth never forgot that space held many dangers. "Captain, incoming transmission," said Officer Jun, his fingers moving quickly over the control panel. "It's strange. Not from any Earth colony or known ally." Hannah walked to his station. "Play it." A soft voice filled the bridge, speaking in a language none of them knew, but the fear in the voice needed no translation. The ship's computer worked quickly, finding patterns and meaning. "We are peaceful. We face extinction. Please help us." The bridge grew silent. Everyone looked at Hannah. "Source?" she asked. "A star system about 6 hours from here at top speed," Jun replied. "The Felix system. Not much in our database about it." Hannah nodded. "Send this to Earth Command right away. Priority 1. Within 30 minutes, Hannah's screen lit up with a secure transmission. Admiral Tay's stern face appeared. Behind him sat the Earth Defense Council, 12 men and women representing Earth's united government. "Captain Hannah, we've analyzed the message," Admiral Ta said. "The signal comes from Felix Prime, home to a species called the Felixians." Dr. Sung, the Council's expert on alien cultures, leaned forward. His white hair contrasted with his youthful face. "The Felixians are a remarkable species. They've built an advanced civilization without ever developing weapons or warfare. Their entire society is based on cooperation." "And the threat?" Hannah asked. Admiral Tay's expression darkened. "The Vraxan. We've encountered them before at the edges of our space. Insectoid species, highly aggressive. They conquer worlds and enslave populations." Images appeared on Hannah's screen. Massive ships shaped like armored beetles, and tall, chitinous beings with compound eyes and clicking mandibles. "The Vraxan have given the Felixians 1 planetary day to surrender," continued Admiral Ta. "After that, they will attack." Hannah did some quick calculations. "We could reach them in 6 hours if we push our engines to maximum." The council members exchanged glances. One woman spoke up. "This is not our fight. We have our own colonies to protect." "With respect," Dr. Sung countered, "the Felixians have no concept of warfare. They won't even understand what's happening to them. It would be like attacking children." Admiral Ta rubbed his temple. "Captain Hannah, what's your assessment?" Hannah thought carefully before answering. She had led her ship through 3 space battles and numerous diplomatic missions. The Intrepid wasn't the largest vessel in Earth's fleet, but it was one of the fastest. "The Vraxan are bullies," she said finally. "They target the weakest species first. If we don't stop them now, they'll keep expanding until they reach our colonies anyway." The council debated among themselves, voices rising and falling. Finally, Admiral Tai raised his hand for silence. "The council has voted," he announced. "We will respond to the Felixian distress call." He looked directly at Hannah. "Captain, you are to take the Intrepid and rendezvous with the 3rd Fleet at Junction Station. Commander Park will provide tactical support. You will then proceed to Felix Prime at maximum speed." Hannah nodded, her heart beating faster. "Orders once we arrive." "Diplomatic approach first. Offer the Vraxen a chance to withdraw." The Admiral's eyes hardened. "If they refuse, you are authorized to use all necessary force to protect the Felixians." As the transmission ended, Hannah turned to her bridge crew. "Set course for Junction Station, maximum speed. Alert all departments to prepare for possible combat operations." "Yes, Captain." Her crew responded in unison. As the Intrepid changed course, Lieutenant May, Hannah's second-in-command, approached her. "Captain, may I speak freely?" "Always, Nye. The Vraxen fleet will outnumber us at least 3-1, based on last intelligence reports." Hannah nodded. "I know. The crew is ready," Mai said. "But they're asking, why risk our lives for aliens we've never met?" Hannah walked to the view screen, looking at the stars streaking by as the ship accelerated. "My grandmother told me stories about Earth's history," Hannah said quietly. "About times when strong nations attacked weaker ones, when powerful groups hurt those who couldn't fight back." She turned to face Mai. "Humanity spent thousands of years learning that lesson. That true strength lies in protecting others, not exploiting them." Mai smiled slightly. "So we're the good guys now." "We're trying to be," Hannah replied. "That's what matters." At Junction Station, 3 more Earth ships joined the Intrepid: the Courage, the Defender, and the Hope. Commander Park's weathered face appeared on Hannah's screen. "Captain Hannah, the Third Fleet is at your command for this mission." "Thank you, Commander," Hannah replied. "Let's review our tactical approach." For the next hour, the captains discussed their plan. The Vraxen had numbers, but Earth ships had superior speed and targeting systems. They would position themselves between the Vraxen fleet and Felix Prime, using the planet's moon for cover if needed. As the small fleet prepared to jump to light speed, Hannah addressed all crews. "Today we answer a call that crosses the boundaries of species and worlds. The Felixians don't know us. They've never seen a human. Yet they reached out in their darkest hour, hoping someone would help." She paused. "That someone is us. Today we show the galaxy what humanity stands for." The ships accelerated to light speed, stars blurring around them as they raced toward Felix Prime. In her private quarters, Hannah looked at a small photo of her family. Her partner and young son smiled back at her. She touched the image gently. "I'll be home soon," she whispered. Then she straightened her uniform and returned to the bridge, ready to face whatever waited at Felix Prime. Ambassador Jin stood in the crystal dome of the council chamber, watching as the Felixian people filed into underground shelters. The great city, once filled with music and light, now stood silent. Only the soft glow of the native plants lit the empty streets. "Ambassador, all sectors report readiness for the end," said Elderly, his voice breaking. "The memory crystals containing our history and art have been secured in the deep vaults." Jin nodded sadly. "Perhaps some future travelers will find them, and know we once existed." The Vraxen ships hung in the sky like dark stars, visible even in daylight. Their deadline would expire in 2 hours. Jin had spent the night recording final messages and preparing his people for what was to come. The Felixians had no concept of battle or surrender. Both were equally foreign to them. "Ambassador." A young Felixian burst into the chamber, her crystalline eyes wide. "The sensors detect new objects entering our system." Jin's heart sank. "More Vraxen reinforcements." "No, these are different. Smaller ships, different design. They're moving very fast." The council members rushed to the viewing pool, a liquid crystal basin that showed real-time images from orbit. Strange silver ships, sleek and elegant, entered the Felixian system at incredible speed. "More predators come to fight over our remains," sighed Elderly. Jin watched closely. "Wait, look at their movement pattern." The new ships did not join the Vraxen fleet. Instead, they spread out, forming a line between Felix Prime and the Vraxan Armada. Their positioning was clearly protective. "Council members, return to your stations," Jin ordered, feeling something stir inside him. Not quite hope, but curiosity. "Ambassador," called out the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the new vessels." "Display it," Jin said. The air above the viewing pool shimmered, and an image formed. The being on the screen looked nothing like the insectoid Vraxan. It had soft skin, hair on its head, and two eyes that looked directly at Jin. "I am Captain Hannah of the Earth Defense Force," the being said in a clear voice. "We received your distress call and have come to offer assistance. The Vraxan will not harm you today." Jin stared at the image, struggling to understand. "You came for us. Strangers from another world." The being, Captain Hannah, nodded. Her face changed, becoming softer. "On Earth, we have a saying. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. We could not do nothing." These words made little sense to Jin. Evil, doing nothing. The concepts were abstract to Felixians, who had evolved without predators or competition on their world. But the meaning behind the words was clear. These humans had traveled across space to help them. Before Jin could respond, another signal came through. The harsh clicks and whirs of Vraxan speech filled the chamber before their translation system converted it. "Humans." The Vraxan commander's mandibles clicked furiously on the screen. His compound eyes reflected the light in fractured patterns. "This is not your concern. The Felixians are our prey by right of strength." Captain Hannah's face showed no fear as she responded. "They are under Earth's protection now. Withdraw your forces, or we will remove them." Jin watched this exchange with growing wonder. The Vraxan commander was 3 times the size of the human, with natural armor and deadly pincers. Yet this small, soft creature spoke as if she had the power to challenge him. "Your ships are outnumbered," the Vraxan hissed. "You will die with them." "Perhaps," Captain Hannah replied. "But we won't die easily, and neither will you." The transmission ended. Jin turned to the council, who stood in shocked silence. "What does this mean?" Elder Lee finally asked. "Can these humans actually help us?" Jin studied the viewing pool, watching the Earth ships maintaining their protective formation. "I don't know, but they came when no one else would. We should speak with them." Jin sent a request for a private channel to the Earth vessel. Captain Hannah's face appeared again. "Captain, my people do not understand what is happening," Jin said honestly. "We have never experienced conflict or war. Why would you risk your lives for us?" Hannah's eyes softened. "Ambassador Jin, humans once thought as your people do. We believe that intelligence naturally led to peace. We were wrong. Our history is filled with conflict, but also with those who stood against cruelty and injustice." Jin tried to grasp these alien concepts. "And your people sent you to fight for us." "To protect you," Hannah corrected. "Fighting is the last option. I sent the Vraxan commander terms for peaceful withdrawal. And if they refuse," Hannah's expression grew serious, "then we will show them that preying on peaceful species has consequences." A young Felixian approached Jin, whispering urgently. Jin's eyes widened. "Captain Hannah, the Vraxan ships are changing position. They appear to be targeting your vessels." Hannah nodded calmly. "We expected this. Ambassador, please move your people to shelter. What happens next may be frightening to witness." Jin hesitated. "Captain, thank you. Whatever happens, know that the Felixians will remember Earth's courage." "Save your thanks for when this is over, Ambassador." Hannah smiled. "And prepare to welcome visitors from Earth. I think our peoples have much to learn from each other." As the communication ended, Jin looked out at the vast sky where invisible forces now gathered. For the first time in Felixian history, their fate would be decided by violence. Yet strangely, Jin felt not just fear, but something else, a connection to these humans who had crossed the stars for strangers. "Prepare the deep shelters," Jin ordered, "and begin recording everything. Future generations must know what happened here today, the day strangers became our defenders." As the Phylixians moved to safety, Jin remained in the crystal dome, watching the distant flashes of light begin in the upper atmosphere. The first battle ever fought over Felix Prime had begun. The sky above Felix Prime lit up with flashes of light as the Vraxan ships opened fire. Their weapons, evolved from the natural venom of their species, streaked through space like angry red lightning. The human ships seemed tiny against the massive Vraxan vessels. "They will be destroyed," whispered elder men from the safety of the underground shelter where most Phylixians huddled in fear. But Ambassador Jin remained in the observation dome with a few brave council members. The transparent crystal ceiling gave them a clear view of the battle unfolding above their world. "Look," Jin pointed as the human ships suddenly scattered in different directions. The Vraxan weapons hit empty space. The Earth ships moved in ways the Phylixians had never seen before, spinning, diving, changing direction instantly. They reminded Jin of the dart birds that flew in the southern forests, able to stop and change course in midair. "Their pilots must have incredible skill," said Council Member Du, his eyes wide with wonder. "Defender, target the lead ship's propulsion systems. Courage, draw their fire from the left flank. Hope, prepare to block any ships trying to reach the planet." The largest Vraxan ship suddenly turned all its weapons on the Intrepid. Red energy beams hit the human ship directly. "No," cried several council members. For a moment, the Intrepid disappeared in a flash of light, but when the light faded, the ship was still there, protected by a shimmering blue shield. "Their defense technology is remarkable," Jin said, relief washing over him. The battle continued above them, painting the sky with light. From the planet's surface, it looked like a beautiful but terrible dance. Red Vraxan beams crossed with blue human weapons. Ships spun and weaved through the darkness. "I never imagined violence could have such pattern to it," said Council Member Du. Jin nodded. "The humans fight with purpose, not rage. See how they protect each other, how they move as one." The Phylixians watched in awe as the human ships formed new patterns, adapting to each Vraxan attack. When one Earth ship was in danger, others moved to protect it. They fought not as individuals, but as a single unit. "They fight for us as if we were their own," whispered Council Member Du. Jin watched a small human ship place itself between a Vraxan vessel and Felix Prime, taking damage to protect the planet below. "Perhaps to them, we are," Jin replied, understanding something profound about humanity in that moment. 3 hours passed. The Vraxan ships began to move differently, less aggressive, more defensive. Several drifted with no lights or power. Others tried to retreat but found their path blocked by human vessels. "The Vraxan are losing," Elder Min said in disbelief. Jin had spent the battle hours learning to read the patterns of combat. The humans had been in control from the beginning, he realized. Their smaller fleet had used speed and coordination to overcome the Vraxans' greater numbers. "We're receiving a transmission from the Intrepid," called the communication officer. Captain Hana's face appeared on screen. She looked tired but determined. There was a small cut on her forehead. "Ambassador Jin, the Vraxan commander is requesting to speak with me. I thought you should be part of this conversation." Jin nodded, and soon the screen split to show the Vraxan commander. His chitinous face showed no expression that Phylixians could read, but his posture was different, less threatening, more subdued. "You have disabled half my fleet," the Vraxan clicked. "I did not expect such resistance." "You were warned," Captain Hana replied calmly. "The Phylixians are weak. They have no natural right to such a resource-rich world," the Vraxan said. Jin found his voice. "We have lived in peace with our world for thousands of years. We take only what we need and return the rest." The Vraxan's compound eyes shifted from Hana to Jin. "Peace is weakness." "No," Hana said firmly. Peace is strength of a different kind. The Phylixians choose harmony instead of conquest. Earth respects that choice. The Vraxan commander made a strange sound, perhaps the equivalent of a sigh. What are your terms, human? Withdraw your remaining ships from this system. Spread word through your empire that Phylix Prime and all other peaceful worlds in this sector are under Earth's protection. And if we refuse? Captain Hana's expression didn't change. Then we finish disabling your fleet. We are targeting your engines and weapons systems now. Next will be your life support systems. There was a long silence. Finally, the Vraxan commander nodded, a gesture he must have learned from studying other species. We will withdraw, but this is not over, humans. For today, it is, Hana replied. As the transmission ended, Jin watched through the dome as the functioning Vraxan ships began to move away from Phylix Prime. Earth vessels escorted them to the edge of the system, while others stayed to help the damaged Vraxan ships. They're helping the enemy ships, Elder Min asked, confused. They're helping their crews survive, Jin corrected. The humans fight when necessary but show mercy when possible. Captain Hana's final message to the retreating Vraxan was broadcast across all channels, reaching even the Phylixian shelters. The Phylixians and all peaceful species are now under humanity's protection. Spread the word. The Earth ships regrouped and began firing back. Their weapons were different from the Vraxans, precise blue beams that cut through the darkness of space. But Jin noticed something strange. They aren't aiming at the center of the Vraxan ships, he said. They're targeting specific parts, the engines, the weapon systems. The humans were not trying to destroy the Vraxan fleet completely. They were disabling them. On the main communication screen, they could hear Captain Hana giving orders to her fleet. As the last Vraxan ship disappeared from their sensors, cheers erupted throughout the Phylixian cities. Jin looked up at the Earth ships still circling their world, and for the first time in many days, he allowed himself to smile. Prepare to welcome our new friends, he told the council. I believe this is just the beginning. 3 days after the battle, human ships landed on Felix Prime. Unlike the Vraxan ships, these vessels touched down gently, careful not to harm the delicate crystal structures or the glowing plants that grew everywhere. Jin watched as the first humans stepped onto Phylixian soil. They wore simple blue uniforms and carried no weapons. Captain Hana led them, her eyes wide with wonder as she looked at the towering crystal buildings that caught the light of Felix Prime's 3 moons. Your world is beautiful, she said to Jin, her voice soft with respect. The Phylixians had prepared a welcome. Children gave the humans necklaces made of living light plants. Elders played music on crystal instruments that sang with the wind. The humans smiled and bowed, trying to follow Phylixian customs. Jin took Captain Hana on a tour of the main city. She asked thoughtful questions about Phylixian history and culture. She seemed especially interested in how they built their homes to work with nature instead of against it. Earth once had great beauty too, she told Jin. But we damaged much of it before we learned better ways. Your people could teach us much. Jin nodded. And your people could teach us how to survive in a universe that is not always kind. The Great Harmony Hall stood at the center of the city, a massive dome of living crystal that had grown over thousands of years. Inside, light danced across curved walls, creating patterns that changed with the music and the movements of those inside. Here, 5 days after the battle, Phylixians gathered for a special ceremony. The human crew stood in a line, looking slightly uncomfortable with all the attention. Jin stepped forward, his voice echoing in the great space. For all our history, we Phylixians have lived in peace. We thought the stars were like us, quiet, distant, content to shine without interference. He looked at the humans. We were wrong. But in our darkest hour, when we faced extinction, strangers heard our call. The crystal walls pulsed with blue light, reflecting the mood of all present. These humans fought for us, bled for us, risked their lives for people they had never met. They have shown us that true strength lies not in conquest, but in protection. not in taking, but in giving. Jin turned to Captain Hana and her crew. Today we name you Guardians of Felix. In all our history, no one has held this title, for we needed no guardians. Now we know better. Young Felixians came forward, carrying crystal emblems that caught and transformed light into rainbow patterns. They placed one around the neck of each human. Captain Hana stepped forward. The small crystal on her chest glowed with inner light. Ambassador Jin, Felixians, we accept this honor with humble hearts. She looked around at the gathered crowd. Humanity's path has not always been peaceful. We have fought many wars among ourselves before learning better ways. But one thing has remained true throughout our history. There have always been those willing to stand up for others who cannot defend themselves. She smiled. In your call for help, you gave humanity a chance to be its best self. For that, we thank you. The days that followed brought many changes to Felix Prime. Human scientists worked with Felixian scholars, sharing knowledge and technology. The Felixians taught humans about their living architecture and plants that could clean air and water. The humans taught Felixians about defensive shields and communication systems that could warn of approaching danger. We need not become warriors, Jin told his worried council, but we must learn to protect what we have built. A month after the battle, the first joint human-Felixian ship took flight. It combined Felixian living technology with human engines and shields. It was named Hope in both languages. On board, Jin looked out at the stars with new eyes. We will visit Earth next, Captain Hana told him. Your people should see the world that came to your aid. Jin nodded. And other worlds too. We have lived alone too long. Across the galaxy, news traveled quickly. The story of how humans had defended a peaceful race against the feared Vraxen spread from world to world. Some species heard it with relief, others with concern. The Vraxen Empire pulled back from several worlds they had planned to conquer. Their leaders did not speak of Felix Prime, but their actions showed they had learned caution. Other peaceful species sent messages to Earth, asking for friendship and protection. Some offered trade, others knowledge. The galaxy was changing. 5 years later, Jin stood on the observation deck of the Earth space station Unity. Representatives from 12 different worlds had gathered to sign a treaty of mutual protection and cooperation. Did you ever imagine this? Asked Hana, now an admiral, standing beside him. Jin shook his head. When I sent that desperate message into space, I hoped only for survival. I never dreamed it would lead to this. He watched as humans mingled with beings of all shapes and sizes, all finding common ground despite their differences. In Felixian philosophy, we believe all life is connected, Jin said. But we thought this connection was passive, something to be appreciated but not acted upon. You humans showed us that connections require action. That hearing a cry for help means nothing if you do not answer it. Hana smiled. And you Felixians showed us that strength and peace can exist together. That seems like a fair exchange. As Felix Prime's story spread throughout the stars, it became more than just a tale of battle and rescue. It became a symbol of a new way forward, where different species with different strengths protected each other, creating something stronger than any could build alone. In the great library of Felix Prime, Jin completed his account of first contact, ending with words that would be studied by generations to come. When darkness threatened to engulf us, humanity heeded our plea. They showed us that the true measure of advancement is not the absence of conflict, but the courage to stand for others in their time of need.